What I'm trying to do here is trace the development of the early government crash retrieval operations, like the Roswell incident, and what has taken place since that time up to the present time. In other words, if there were such recoveries as alien spacecraft and alien bodies that were taken up to places like Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, we believe they didn't just put them in cold storage and let them sit there, but they were an object of scientific and engineering study. So over a period of time, there had to be a development cycle like there is in any engineering or scientific project. And there must be evidence today that that knowledge is being utilized by various scientific agencies and probably the aerospace industries at this time.
Do you have any of that evidence that you can describe right now?
Yes. Let me remark that there are two kinds of routes this evidence travels. Okay. One is by informants. That is, people who have worked on some phase of a secret or classified project that's dealing with this alien technology. And the other route is to go out to certain locations where there are secret installations and to do some observations. And there are witnesses who have gone out to these locations and they have seen evidence of advanced technology. The principal one, of course, that is well known is at the Nevada test site. Now, I've been following that for almost 10 years. When there was a report that came out in the early 80s that there was a secret project being conducted at the northern end of the Nevada test site, referred to as Project Red Light. And so this sparked my curiosity. And of course, today we know that John Lear, son of Bill Lear, has come out with statements about what's going on in the Nevada test site. And we've heard about Bob Lazar and his involvement. And there have been other trickles of stories coming out of the Nevada test site, all indicating that there's a very strong possibility that alien technology is being tested at this test site. And if it is, then it's only part of a very large program of some magnitude, and there must be other feeder lines elsewhere and other activities and operations going on elsewhere. Well, I moved out to 10 acres in the West Antelope Valley and soon discovered that I was barely maybe 8 miles away from a secret Northrop installation in the Tehachapi Mountains. And this installation came to my attention during a period of time in the summer of 1988 when a couple, the man whose name is Ray, was an inspector on the B-2 project at Northrop, okay? And he had gotten off a swing shift, and he and his girlfriend Nancy had gone up on this plateau, which is just outside of the perimeter fence area of this secure installation up there in the saddle of the mountains. And they saw a very strange object at about 1 o'clock in the morning when they were up there just looking at the lights, the stars, and what have you. And they saw what they described as being approximately a basketball-sized glowing orb rise out of the ground, okay, and gain some elevation. And it was to the east of them, less than about 100 yards away. And it just kind of sat there flashing, and there were electrical sparks coming off of it. And they were observing this for some minutes when next they noticed that the first dawn rays of sunlight were coming up over the eastern horizon, and they had some missing time. And Ray was put under hypnosis, and he told a very bizarre tale of being taken underground to what appeared to him to be a military installation. There were electronics, there were console panels, there were military uniformed men walking around. And he saw Nancy being put on this table, and surrounding the table were what he described as little gray alien beings, the typical large-headed, almond-shaped eyes, what have you. And at that point in his narration, he got very emotional, and he seemed to be blocked mentally. in recalling the details of what happened to Nancy. He was very disturbed about this, and I considered that he was going through some genuine emotion. Now, they reported this, by the way, to somebody at Edwards Air Force Base because they thought, what's going on here, right? And they had some harassment afterwards, and they decided to withdraw, and they wouldn't even talk to me anymore. And just a few short months after that, on the night of the 26th of October, 1988, two very large boomerang-shaped objects flew over the West Valley, accompanied by about 17 discs. And they flew over this installation in the Tehachapi's, and it grew very active after their flyover. And these objects were also seen later that night in the Fresno area, and it made the newspapers. Okay, and I've been told even by one of the engineers there, and he was very convincing, and he said, boy, if people do not believe that these aliens exist, I can assure you that they do.
If what you're saying is true, it paints a very disturbing picture of government activity and obviously things that the American public know very little about. Can you summarize what you would like to advise the American public in terms of how to respond to this information?
I think what we need to do, of course, is air all of the testimony and all of this information as much as possible through the media, and see what we can do to bring pressure for a congressional investigation of some kind. And in fact, I understand, as in regards to the Roswell incident, in regards to the testimony of these people, they're trying to record all of that and bring it to the attention of some of the congressmen involved, in order to at least see that some kind of ethical oversight might be implemented over some of these programs. I think it's important that that be done, and I think that it's important that the public be made aware, not of national security secrets so much as just the fact that we do have an alien presence and that we are developing this technology, and be assured that we're not developing this technology for some malevolent purpose.
Okay, I'm here with William Hamilton, and he's got a very different perspective. He deals with the hardcore, the real world, the physical evidence and activities involving the UFO phenomena. Bill, first of all, let's clarify, what is your background?
Well,
Professionally,
I'm a computer programmer, computer consultant, and I work in the world of mainframe computers, IBM computers, commercial applications.
Very hardcore, high-tech.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, what got you involved with the UFO phenomenon to begin with?
When I was very young, I was interested in space travel, rocketry, life on other worlds, and my mother started reading reports out of the newspapers when I was a very young child about pilots encountering flying saucers, and I got very interested in this.
Now, you've taken quite a different approach. Most people are dealing with the spiritual, the metaphysical aspects of this. You're dealing with the concrete, physical, material world. What have you found?
Well, first of all, I have found that what we're dealing with here is a real physical phenomena. We're talking about structured craft, manufactured craft that have been seen both in the air and on the ground. And the reason why I am so interested in this is because of the larger questions, maybe philosophical questions involved, as far as mankind as an intelligent species. Is he alone in the universe, or does he have company? We see so many stars out there, and we wonder if there are other worlds like our world,
right?
Whether there are civilizations, whether they have developed space travel as we intend to do, and whether they're coming here, and what these implications are.
With the physical evidence that you're experiencing or have found, and you're talking about the structured craft and things like that.
Right.
There's been made mention that there are both extraterrestrial and governmental craft. Is this so?
Well, we can conjecture about this, okay? We believe that a lot of UFOs, I mean, the ones we're really interested in are spacecraft, have an extraterrestrial origin, all right? And as far as the physical evidence of this, we feel that most of the physical evidence is in the hands of the United States military within very compartmentalized, highly secure installations.
Are they actually building craft?
I believe that the aerospace industries have gotten involved in this, that from their studies of the actual physical craft themselves, that we have attempted to duplicate the technology, and that we have evolved over time, and it's very possible that we have alien replicated vehicles.
Okay. Now, what else on a physical level, the types of things that you have researched and found out?
Well, I mean, most of what we have is not the actual physical hard evidence. Okay, this is what we're deficient in. Almost any UFO researcher would love to get his hands on the actual physical evidence.
Right,
What
like the
we
piece
have,
of the craft that Billy Meyer was presented with.
Absolutely. We do have a little physical evidence, you know, like contactees are given some physical evidence.
Right.
But what in the main we have is eyewitness testimony. Some of this eyewitness testimony is corroborated and backed up by photographic evidence or physical traces made on the ground. All right. But we are dealing in the realm of human testimony here. And what we find is a high correlation in testimony, a high consistency in these reports.
That's the thing that I find interesting, is that one person over here will experience something, and then another person over here will experience something very similar, neither one of them knowing of the other.
That's
and
right.
all this information, not just from those two, but from a number of people that have had similar experiences. This is beginning to come out in the open. Now, is this a psychosis, a mass hypnosis? What's happening, in your opinion?
Well, I don't believe this has anything to do with a psychosis. And as far as mass hypnosis is concerned, I don't think that's operative here at all. We're talking about, when you get into the details of the testimony, a situation in which somebody who is a very ordinary person can have something very extraordinary happen to him. And we always gain the impression that what he is witnessing, what he's experiencing, is some kind of physical event. All right, it just has an extraordinary nature.
Right. How about some advice for people who are having those kinds of things that can find no one to talk to that'll believe them?
Well, I think that they need to seek out various UFO groups and organizations. And many of these are listed in publications and magazines, and a lot of them have meetings, and they can meet like-minded people. And pretty soon they should share their experience. They should talk about it. We need more openness.
Like Contactees Anonymous or something like that.
Whatever. Or abductees.
Right.
Whatever.
Is there anything that you feel has been personally shared with you throughout what you've found that you would like to share with others that can make an impact?
Well, I mean, I have found a lot of things that could make an impact, but I think that
constructively.
what I'm summing up, okay, is that we have to undergo a transformation in our thinking and our consciousness, and learn to think on a universal scale. That there are other intelligent life forms in the universe, that they are making contact with humanity, and that the implications of this could be tremendous for our world, the way we are living in our world now.
You talk about intelligent life forms. I have a question of whether most of humanity is an intelligent life form.
Right. The question has always been, is there intelligent life on Earth? Right?
Okay. Bill, thank you very much for your time.
Well, thank you very much.